My name is King Prime, and I'm going to tell you a more detailed story about how my collecting journey started. I realized that the old one I didn't really have as much detail as I wanted it to. I wanted it to be a long video explaining how it all started. My name is Derek. I was born July 31st, 2008. I'm not saying my last name because you guys are ninjas. You'll find out where I live and all that bullshit and all that. I'm Derek. Many of you know me as King Prime, but nobody really knows my real name. I am Derek. Yes. As you can see, I like Transformers, but that's not what. I'm gonna tell you how it all started. So I was born in July 31st, 2008. I lived. My parents were married for around 4 years, I think. My parents split up when I was really young. But we went through house. But more of a creepy fact about I lived in a house that had like over 15 actual ghosts. Like dead serious. I am not lying to you. I lived in a house that had like 15 different ghosts in it, like dead people, like dead serious. That shit is real. I've experienced it, but I don't remember it because I was a baby at the time. So we moved from there to another house that was like the worst neighborhood ever. Like you could walk outside and there would be like drug syringes in your driveway or fucking joints on your grass. It was like the worst neighborhood ever. So my parents moved out of there too. But eventually we got to a certain house, and this is where it all started. My dad was a huge collector before me. He had this humongous collection before me of cars, Transformers, and G.I. Joes. He got rid of his G.I. Joes when he was little. And, but he still had some Transformers and still had a shit ton of cars. Like Hot Wheels cars, but more of like the like premium ones with like rubber wheels, detail, hood opening, trunk opening, door opening, rubber wheels, really hard packaging to open the clamshells. He had those. And he put that box in the basement where he slept with my mom when they were still together. He put that box in the basement, and eventually I was small. I barely could walk. But I would sometimes crawl or sometimes possibly walk down there, and I would try to get a car out of the box. And yeah, I just got all of them, but that was from effort, and eventually one day, I don't know why I didn't notice it until like a month like into getting the cars, but he had an original Transformers Robots in Disguise 2001 sealed Ultra Magnus and Optimus Prime, and I wanted them. I thought they looked like the coolest thing ever. My child brain wanted to play with them. So from there on, I would try to go downstairs and try to get those figures. I try, and eventually it rolls up on my birthday. And my dad was pretty much done with them. He just kept them in a box and just collected dust in his closet. So he just brought them up, and he gave them to me as like my fourth birthday. And those were like the very first Transformers I ever got. And yeah, I wasn't after that, it was just Transformers for me for years. But those like particularly like cool ones, like you have like Legacy Time right here, like an example. I did not start with those. I mean, I kind of did with the RID figures, but that's it. I started with Rescue Bots, and those things were cool as hell. Rescue Bots are still cool, and I look forward to that Legacy Chase. But that's besides the point. I learned about Transformers, and it's like the coolest thing ever. Whenever my dad is showing me a movie about robots, I'm like, do they transform? Yeah. I just loved giant transforming robots. I don't care if they were off brand, they were just so cool to me. And then eventually, I found my dad's old movie stash. That's how I came across Transformers 2007, Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon. So I grabbed one of the DVDs and I put it in the TV. And so that I'm a baby, I don't really have education yet. But I take one of the movies and I go put it in the TV and I start watching it and I see Bayverse and all the Bay, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Bumblebee became like my favorite Transformer. I mean, come on, it was like everyone's favorite Transformer when it first came out. You got that, and eventually I found out that my parents were splitting up. So my dad and my mom split up. I think 2011. 2011. But since my dad couldn't afford a place, he was still living with us, which was kind of awkward. But yeah. And eventually, like the last memory I had with my dad living with me and my mom was that we started watching Transformers Prime, and me and my dad loved the show. We absolutely did. We every time there was a new episode, Transformers Prime, Transformers Prime, Transformers Prime, like every day, every day. And then we eventually start going to the stores, and every time we see like a new Transformer Prime figure on the shelf, even if we're not looking for toys, we get it because we both loved them. We both really loved Transformers Prime. I just loved Transformers Prime. I just absolutely did. And they got Beast Hunters, and that still to this day is my favorite Transformer toy line ever. This is gonna be a little gut wrenching to watch, but I still have like one piece of one of my old Beast Hunter toys, and that is the arm of my old Ultra Magnus. And yeah, that may be a little bit graphic and sad, but they were toys. They got played with, man. They had a good life. So after we finished Transformers Prime, my dad eventually just moves out. And my mom. And I turn like either 5 and I find out I am diagnosed with autism. And my behavior changes drastically. Big time. I'm doing like awful in school because I have like the worst behavior ever. So eventually, like one day my mom took like me and my sister to go like to a mall to see what we could find, and I find this store called Toy Vault, and it has all these Transformers, all these different collectibles. Oh, I just love it, even though it's overpriced as hell. I love it. I fell in love with the store, so I worked out a deal with my mom. If I had a good day, if I had like 4 good days in 1 week, she'd take me to Toy Vault and I'd pick out a Transformer. And that's how my collection, my old collection, began to grow. There's like only a few I can recall getting at Toy Vault, and that was Dark of the Moon Leader Class Sentinel Prime, Animated Lockdown, Alternator Sunstreaker, RID Prowl, Transformers Prime Dead End, a G1 Vortex from Bruticus. I don't know why I got that at first. Reveal the Shield, Legends Prowl, Thrilling 30, the Minicon Combiner, and the Thrilling 30 Skywar for Fall of Cybertron. And that's when we begin with Fall of Cybertron. I went over to my dad's house for like a week just to spend time with him. And he has like an Xbox now. He has like a game system. And then I found out that he pre-ordered this game called Transformers Fall of Cybertron. So like it's Tuesday. I get home from school and he's like, our game came in. Our game came in, Derek. So we go to GameStop, we get Fall of Cybertron, and we play that thing for days. Absolute days. I remember my dad letting me take the day off from school just to play it the next day because we were just so excited for it. And I fall in love with Fall of Cybertron Grimlock. Just absolutely fall in love with the character. It's broken right now. I want to get a new. I'm gonna probably get a new one, but he's not gonna come into the picture for a while. But Fall of Cybertron does come back a little bit later. I fall in love with the Grimlock, and me and my dad, it's Transformers Prime all over again. We buy every single Fall of Cybertron character we can find. Jazz, Grimlock, Optimus, Ultra Magnus, Soundwave, Blaster, you name it, we got it. Shockwave, and then, then it just all stopped. Just all stopped. For a while. My dad wasn't in the right place. My mom wasn't in the right place. And for the last year, for the last year of kindergarten, and since I'm doing I'm not in the great mindset either. It's coming up on my birthday, so on my birthday, my dad digs out the original Transformers 1986 movie, and we watch that for my birthday, and I fall in love with Unicron, Rodimus Prime, Ultra Magnus, any of the characters from that movie I love. I absolutely love. I made it my mission to get a Unicron and a Rodimus or a Hot Rod. I made it my mission. So I made a deal with my mom. I will have 30 good days. I'll have a whole good month of good days, and she will order me Unicron. I mean, it's not the Unicron that I want, but I get the Armada Unicron as my prize. And even as a being a good kid too. My mom gets me Dark of the Moon Barricade while we're at the store when I'm getting my Unicron. I bring home my Unicron, my dad's over for a little bit, and we play with that thing for hours. We love that thing. Unfortunately, I don't have him in my collection anymore because I was in the wrong mindset. A few years goes by, and I get really mad. And I throw my Armada Unicron across the room. And I snap his entire leg off. But, this is the point where Transformers, for now, ends for me. Things just fell apart, man. Things just did. Transformers, for me, just wasn't doing it anymore. I don't know why, but it just wasn't doing it for me anymore. So eventually I start probably doing the worst thing I could do to some of the figures that I got. Nowadays they're super freaking expensive. He's got my Transformer Prime figures. Well, what I did was I took them apart and I put the different limbs and pieces on different figures and made freaking Frankenstein creations. It was weird, man. It was weird. And that's kind of when it just stopped. It was off and on with other stuff. It won Transformers. It was Transformers for the amount of time that I've been living in this world, Transformers, that phase has ate up the most of my life. It's just eventually just done with Transformers. And then my friend shows me this cool game that he started playing, Pokemon. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Pokemon is the worst thing to invest in. I'm saying it right now. I don't care how many Pokemon players are watching this video right now. Pokemon is the number one worst freaking thing to invest in. That took over my life. It took over my personality. I was an entirely different person. Anybody someone touched or breathed wrong on my Pokemon cards, I wanted to tear their ass limb from limb. I was like, I forget his name, but it's from Lord of the Rings, and he's like, that guy is precious. That was me with Pokemon cards, and eventually I noticed I had a problem, so I go to therapy, and I completely just stopped with the Pokemon, because I started stealing. I started stealing Pokemon cards. Started stealing them. Shoplifting, stealing them from other people. Pokemon ruined for me from like, I want to say 8 to 9 years old. It was either 8 to 9 years old. But after I leave Pokemon for a while, Pokemon comes back. Pokemon does come back. But after I leave it for a while, I get into, I consider it my favorite childhood video game ever. I get my ass into Five Nights at Freddy's. I was a Five Nights at Freddy kid for like 4 years in a row. I got so obsessed. I learned the entire freaking storyline of FNAF. I could literally say the entire FNAF storyline in like under 5 minutes. It's insane. I've watched game theory. I figured out Easter eggs in the game. I was a Five Nights at Freddy kid for a long time. 2015 to 2017 was Five Nights at Freddy's for me. Oh my god. Oh, it was so much fun, man. So much fun. It's still going to this day, but I honestly, the movie is coming out. It is. And I'm definitely going to see it opening day, 100%. But, FNAF died. It used to be the number one thing on the internet. But FNAF just died. And I blame one thing for ruining FNAF. Everybody knows about it. Everybody hates it. They love it. Or they're fucking addicted to it. And I'm sorry, I just said the F word because I'm this mad how much it ruined me, how much money it took from me. It's the thing that ended FNAF for me, but it opened a new chapter, and that was a lesson I learned, and I will never go back to it. It is Fortnite. It was the worst time in my life. It was. Fortnite took all of my freaking money. Dude, if you're on Fortnite right now and you're like, I want that new V-Bucks and get that new skin. Dude, seriously. Sure, you may have a digital Fortnite outfit skin, but with all that money, you can go buy yourself a good dinner, or you can buy yourself a cool toy. Leave Fortnite alone. I hope it fucking dies soon. I cannot stand it. I was an avid player. I am just so fed up with Fortnite altogether. I'm just sure there was only one season that gets me nostalgia, and that was Chapter 2, Season 2, because that was when I started, and I will admit, it was fun. It was. But I hated Fortnite way before I started playing it. I hated it. I said I'd never play it because it took my FNAF years away from me. It took FNAF off the internet, and it was just Fortnite. It was just Fortnite. Dance move that, dance move this, Black Knight, Omega Skin, Raven, Tfue, Ninja, fucking, I don't know who else was playing it, but I don't care. I don't care. I never watched a single one of those guys. I never will, because Fortnite ruined everything for me. Just did. And eventually, I get back into Pokemon a tiny bit. I get back to Pokemon. I had one summer that was like the weirdest summer ever. I was into like, I don't know, so many different things. I liked Sonic, I liked Fortnite, I liked Halo, I liked Hot Wheels, I liked Marvel Legends. Summer of 2021, all COVID. All of COVID was Fortnite, Halo. It wasn't just a summer, no, that was all of COVID. It was Fortnite, Pokemon, just everything. It was Pokemon, Fortnite, Halo, Hot Wheels. Eventually, it's up there, but it's not my favorite time of my life. After I get out of quarantine, it's 2021, and I get my happy ass into Godzilla, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Godzilla is a fun thing to invest in, and if everyone hates on Godzilla, people, fuck you. Legitimately, Godzilla is cool, and I hate anyone that says it's not, and they say Fortnite's better or something else is better. Godzilla is cool, and I will respect you for that. Godzilla is still cool to this day, even though it's from the 50s. Still cool to this day. What's cooler than a giant mutant lizard rampaging through Tokyo, slaying three-headed dragon, a giant big-ass moth, a giant oversized dinosaur? That shit's cool, man. It is. Eventually, the thing that ruined Godzilla for me is it's sitting right in front of you. Godzilla versus Kong. That movie ruined it for me. I was so disgusted how bad that movie is. Nobody ever looks at that movie for what it is. That movie was so bad. I know it's a cheesy popcorn movie. I know it is. Big monkey fights giant lizard. I know. With a big robot metal lizard teams up with big monkey lizard. I don't fucking know. That movie was atrocious. And it's what ruined Godzilla for me. I was so disgusted with it. I couldn't do it with Godzilla. Eventually, this is where we are now. I'm done with Godzilla, but I want more because I don't want to lose it because I was having a lot of fun with Godzilla. So I have all of my old Transformers in their bins, torn apart, missing limbs. Some are complete, some aren't. And I'm ready to sell. I'm ready to sell all of them so I can get more money to buy more Godzilla crap. And I'm keeping people posted on TikTok. And eventually, this one guy, I will tell you right now, I thank you so much, so much for getting me in my... Thanks for letting me be me again. It helped me out so much. I'm Juwan Prime from TikTok. You, my friend, you are my savior, dude. You guys seen Oppenheimer yet? That explosion at the end? So I'm telling him about how I'm going to sell all my Transformers. He's like, don't, some of those are valuable. And I'm like, what? And I start looking them up and I see this new line, Studio Series, accurate versions. Like old ones were based off concept art and all that crap. They got Studio Series that are just completely accurate. And usually the only movie accuracy figures you could buy were the Takara ones, was just 50 extra bucks and a few extra remolded and some cool paint. That was it. But Studio Series, Legacy, what else do we have? We got Cyberverse, the War for Cybertron, entirety of that. Unfortunately, I missed out on the entirety of War for Cybertron. I did. I was in Godzilla at the moment. I missed out on the entire thing. I did. I do regret it because some of those toys are banging. I still regret that I missed out on Earthrise or Kingdom Optimus Prime. That figure looks so cool, and it's now way over freaking priced. But I said to myself, I'm restarting Transformers. I'm restarting from the beginning. At the very end of COVID, middle of about like the start of 2022, I go out and I make it my mission to get my RID Magnus and my RID Optimus Prime back. I make it my mission. So I find one on eBay for $35. And I grabbed that thing so quick. It's unbelievable. I got my Magnus back. I was so happy. I wanted my Prime back now, though. He's a bit more expensive. The cheapest I could find was one for $89, and I made a deal with my mom. You buy it, I'll work my hardest to pay it back. She agreed, and that Optimus is still standing strong in my collection. And it all went downhill from there. After the RID figures, I think the next one I got was I either started Menasor or I started Studio Series. It may have been Studio Series first, because fuck. What was my first Studio Series figure? I no longer have in my collection anymore. I don't. I miss that thing like hell. I do. My first Studio Series was Bumblebee movie Blitzwing. And that thing, I'm going to tell you right now, is the best jet transformer we have ever gotten. I miss that thing so much, man. I do. I just miss it so much. So after Blitzwing, I want more, man. So eventually, I see the new line, Studio Series 86, and I am in love. I made it my mission to get the 86 Hot Rod because I always had few Hot Rods. I only had, before the Studio Series 86, I had only 2 Hot Rods. Only 2. I had the Reveal the Shield one, and I had the Cybertron Hot Rod Rodimus. But I get the Combiner Wars one first, and I love it. I do. I love that Hot Rod. I still have it. It's a little modified, but yeah, I have it. And eventually, I finally get the 86 one. That one, I loved it. I did. But my first one I ever had, someone fucking stole it, man. Someone stole it. I was so upset because that was my favorite Hot Rod ever. Someone stole it. After that, someone steals that Hot Rod, and I'm like, I don't think I want to continue. That was my favorite one so far. But I wasn't giving up. I saw that they made a Studio Series of my favorite live-action character, and that was Studio Series Lockdown. I wanted that thing so bad. My friend brought it into school once to show that he had it, and I was like so close. I had it in my hands. I had it in my hands when he wasn't looking. I was so close to taking that thing, stealing it right from him. I was so close. So close. But I didn't. I wanted to wait to get my own. And eventually that time did come. It did. It was my birthday. I went to Florida. My grandpa came back with me. He asked what I wanted for my birthday. I said Studio Series Lockdown. He says, what? I look it up. And he says, ordered. And I'm like the happiest person in the world. Because Lockdown was my favorite Transformer ever. And I had the dumb Age of Extinction Deluxe. The car mode was cool, but that robot mode was hideous. It was absolutely hideous. Just awful. And it's all downhill from here. My collection started to grow at the very end of like 2022, like the very very end. I had like at least 20 figures, I think, like 20 figures, and it was like another 20 every month. So it just continued to grow and grow and grow and grow, and it's out of control. It's out of control, man. I'll show you. I started this collection back in 2020. Actually, no, more like I started Transformers in 2010, but I restarted in 2021. I want to say, because I didn't tell you, I forgot. The first Transformer I had gotten in years was a Earthrise Wheeljack, and I still have it, and I will never get rid of it because it's what started it. It restarted me. And this black shelf used to be the only shelf, and it wasn't even the top shelf either. It was just the two bottom ones. That was it. That was my collection for 2021 to 2022, and it gets into about like late 2022, and all three of those shelves are filled up. As you can see, 2023 has brought me a lot, man. I finally got something I've been wanting for years, and that was a good Rodimus Prime. Oh, gorgeous. Favorite Roar for Cybertron figure ever. And also 2023 finally gave me a character I've wanted for years. Behold, Jetfire. Wanted a Jetfire for so many years. 2023 also got me my most wanted figure I wanted before I split up with Transformers. I just never got it. But in 2023, I finally got my Transformer girl I've wanted for about like 8 years. I finally got Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus. I wanted that thing so much. And, yeah, as you can see, I have quite a big of a Prime shelf. 2023 also brought, 2022, end of 2022, brought me him. In the end of 2022, remember how I said Fall of Cybertron comes back in here? He's busted. He is busted. I don't want to buy another third-party figure, but he was the best thing ever. 2022 finally brought me a good Fall of Cybertron Grimlock. 2022 also brought me a character I've wanted for years, because way back when the IDW comics, like More Than Meets the Eye, first started, my friend was getting all the comic books when I was little. He was getting all the comic books. He was like more of a teenager than me, and he lent them to me. He did. And that's when I found my favorite Transformer comic book character ever. And when I found out they were doing one for Legacy Evolution, I screamed. I was so freaking excited. I didn't get the pre-order in because I didn't have money at the time, but I did get him 3 months before anyone else did. I went to Toy Vault. Toy Vault comes back. I went to Toy Vault, and they have some Evolution figures. And I see there's one in the back, and I'm like, no freaking way. So I move Leo Convoy, and I'm like, fuck yes! And I got my Tarn. I've finally got a Tarn, and oh my god. He is still... it's the best Legacy figure ever. He is still, in my opinion, the best Legacy figure ever. Nothing can touch it. Nothing. Not even Menasor. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You name a Legacy figure that you think can beat that thing? No. Absolutely nothing will beat that thing. For me. For me, at least. But 2023 also brought me Rise of the Beast. And, I got Cheetor. I got Scourge, I got Nightbird, I have the Studio Series one coming in. I have Bumblebee. I have Air Razor, Freezer. There's my Nightbird. And I have 102. Yeah. But yeah. I thought I'd give you a way more detailed journey that I have come from Transformers. And pretty soon I'm gonna be getting the Big Orange Devil. Stay tuned.